My only thought is that will Martinsville ever be the same? Because if it comes down to the last lap, will everyone just start trying that now? Like, if it actually does work once, will the last lap at Martinsville through 3 and 4 just always be a wall ride? Because it literally gained 2.5 seconds. Like, what? Is it over? Like, is Martinsville racing now ruined? Like, is that? I don't even mean by ruined. I'm just saying I'm kind of worried that in the future this is always going to happen now. It's going to be kind of odd. Like the first time it's special, then after a while it's going to get kind of annoying. But I don't think it's going to work every time. I don't know how that worked. Actually, I do know how that worked. And physics makes sense. And Sky is crying. Shut up. I'm trying to record. It's just like, what the? First and foremost, comment down below. Because I'll tell you my first thought process. It was final lap down the back stretch. I was like, Christopher Bell is going to win, which did not surprise me at all. I think you guys know I'm a very big fan of Christopher Bell. He's very, very good. And then it was a 2-point gap between Chastain and Hamlin. Elliott was also safe. I actually was, when Chastain was behind Elliott, I don't know if they told him, but what I was thinking of is I was saying, like, if you were Elliott, just let him go. Like, you were 7 points to the good. If you let him go, you'd be 5 points to the good. Just let him go. Like, and Hamlin was also, like, in a position where Hamlin wasn't going to catch you either. So, yeah. I don't know if they told him that or not, but that's what I was thinking. And then down the back straightaway, I thought it was over. I thought Bell won and Hamlin was going to advance. And next thing you know, coming out of turn 4, Denny Hamlin is side by side with Ross Chastain, and I was confused. And then he got in on points. It was genuinely crazy. I know I've probably skipped a lot of things and just went straight to the end of the race, but I've never seen it before. I'm pretty sure you've never seen it before. No one's ever seen it before. There were Larson. Larson tried video gaming it at Darlington, but I think, why did that not work, but Martinsville did? I don't know, because, yeah, Darlington, Larson tried video gaming it, and it didn't work. Maybe because it's higher speeds, and, the difference between the straightaway and, Sky, shut up. The difference between the straightaway and the corner at Martinsville, it's bigger, and that's why it worked. I don't know, but it worked. And Chastain gained literally, what was it, like 5 spots? If you guys were to see my dog right now, he is right when I have to record. He sleeps all day, and right when I have to record, he starts whining, which is really freaking annoying. So if you hear crying from a dog, I apologize, but he's being annoying. Shout out to all the Patreon members, as always, for supporting the channel, by the way. Don't forget that part. Happy Halloween, everyone, as well. My back is recovering. As you can tell, I'm not moving because I'm still recovering. It's still tough. So, yeah, I'm doing better. But that was just, where do we start off? Well, let's start off with the race. The race still, I will admit, it's still not as good as Martinsville should be. It was better, but the first, 50 to 60 laps of the run was very similar to the spring. It's just very hard to pass. The cars, they I think it was Kevin Harvick who said it, they drive too well. Like at Martinsville, they just drive too well. They don't slide around enough. They, you're shifting, you're carrying a lot of speed through the center of the corner. Dirty air becomes a bigger factor. And so this car at Martinsville, yeah, it's not what it should be. Martinsville should be a much better, and this race was still good. Like, for Martinsville levels, it's not what it should be. Like, Martinsville usually is a banger, 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 always. But with this car, it's not there. This was like a 7.5 out of 10. It's when the tires wore down, that's when you saw something closer to what Martinsville is usually like, where, you saw Denny Hamlin march through the field. You saw a lot of tire wear. You saw guys coming and going, and you saw passing. But it took 60, 70, 80 laps in the stage for that to start happening. And, later in the race, when everyone really started pushing, I thought you saw this a little bit more. Like, once Hamlin loses the lead on pit road, he can't get back. We could talk about the strategy call that Chase Briscoe made with the no tire staying out. And even with staying out on old tires, he was able to hold on to the lead for about 20 laps. Like, usually, he should get past in 5 laps if this was like normal Martinsville. But, with way worn out tires, Bell and all those other guys on 4 tires, it took a while to get past like Keselowski on 2, and it took a while to get past Byron on 2. And while the strategy made that cool, that's just not really what Martinsville is supposed to. Like, you shouldn't be able to stay out on old tires, and because of dirty air, essentially, in track position, you're able to keep the lead. That's not necessarily what Martinsville is all about. So it provided a lot of entertainment. Don't get me wrong, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. I do want the short track package completely changed for next season. I'm sure NASCAR is probably looking into it, but they're gonna have to do a lot of testing on it in order to get the cars to drive worse. I guess like that's what you have to do. You have to get them out of the track, or you have to slow them down in the middle of the corner. Whatever it is they gotta do. I think Goodyear made a step forward in terms of the tire. The tire was wearing. I would like for it to wear a little bit more. Like, I'm just used to the Martinsville where after 20 laps, you're already like a second off the pace. Like that's the Martinsville I kind of grew up with, fell in love with, and it never changed. Like, if you guys remember the old quote by Darrell Waltrip and Mike Joy, like they always said, it doesn't matter what the car what car you bring here. It doesn't matter what the weather is. Like, Martinsville is always Martinsville. It's always going to be the same. You drive the same. And unfortunately, that's wrong because this car does change the way Martinsville is run. Like, it used to be like Gen 4, Gen 5, Gen 6. It didn't matter. There was always tire fall off. The Martinsville always drove the same way. It always felt the same. That's why guys who were always great at Martinsville were always great. No matter the rule change, car change, package change, it didn't matter. They were always great because Martinsville was always how it was. This car has changed that, and so I would like NASCAR to really focus on the short track package. But that's the only negative side of the race, is just that Martinsville is not what it should be. It's not like anything to get angry about or fuss about. We all entered into this race knowing it would probably not be the greatest race, and it ended up being like that. You did get memorable moments, though. First off, let's talk about Denny Hamlin, who ended up finishing sixth. He dominated basically the whole race. He was one of the first guys that you saw drive up through the field, past Chase Elliott, and dominated. His pit crew let him down, and that's basically it. His pit crew let him down. Like, you could say he could have done more, but to be honest, no one passed as many cars as he did. Maybe Christopher Bell. I think it took Christopher Bell longer to come from the back and get up to the front. But, like, Hamlin was the class of the field. We saw that. Denny Hamlin was class of the field. He was able to pass a lot of competitive cars. And on the last 2-3 pit stops, his pit crew let him down. It's just that simple. And let's take a moment. You have to feel bad for the guy. No matter what you think of Denny Hamlin, he is chasing a championship. I don't know if he would have won it, but you want to be in the championship 4 to have a chance. And he did everything he was supposed to do, won both stages, was the fastest car, fastest driver, and his pit crew let him down. And then, like, when you get into the final stage and everyone's pushing and the long runs aren't as much, there's cautions, so then, the long run doesn't really happen. So the tires don't wear as the first stage and the second stage, and next thing you know, Hamlin's kind of like stuck in fourth, and then the pit crew lose him another 5 spots. So it's like, I think he had a 14-second stop on the last stop, where if this was 2007, a 14-second stop would be okay, but this is 2022, and a 14-second stop is not okay. And I know, like, in NASCAR, I look at it as objectively, guys. If you don't know my channel from 5 years ago, there is a video, I think, 5 years ago. Look it up. Search it. YouTube 2017 Martinsville. You can see how mad I was at Denny Hamlin and how much I hated him at that time when I was back in 2017. Like, I understand NASCAR's a lot of fandom, but you got to feel bad for the guy. Like, this guy is trying really hard for a championship, and he speaks it. He's real. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't bluff. He speaks his mind. No matter whether you like it or not, like you like his attitude or what, it is what it is. But, like, he's a smart race car driver. He's a legend. You can't argue that. He's a fantastic driver who has never won a championship, and he's come close many times. And many times, like, whether it be in the final race in this playoff system, he just hasn't shown up, in that final race, or he hasn't had the car, or even in the chase when he was going up against Jimmy Johnson. Like, just those last few races, Jimmy was able to showcase what that 48 team was doing, and Denny just wasn't able to get there. Or whether it be when he was so good, but, like, Kevin Harvick was also amazing that year, and like, another year where he could win like 8 races, and then he comes up to the final race and he's the favorite. But, then Chase Elliott maybe wins that year. It's always something. And I think that's unfortunate. And you know what? Maybe he will end up without a championship. And to be fair, if this was 10 years ago, I think it would hurt him a lot more. But nowadays, I think a lot of NASCAR fans understand that the value of this championship has diminished, and being able to win it is just more circumstantial, if you know what I mean. Like, we are literally going into a single race with 4 drivers able to win it. It's hard. It's very difficult. And sometimes it's usually like it's not in your control. It just isn't. And if he doesn't win a championship, it's okay. Like, it really is. Of course he would want to, but it's okay. I think that's the mindset I have with it. That's the mindset I think he has with it. I mean, he's literally a car owner with Michael Jordan. Like, there are many other things in this world that I think I would rather have than a NASCAR championship. And especially when NASCAR really kind of devalued its own championship. That's very important. Like, when NASCAR devalued its own championship, I think the hunger to win one is not as large as it was. That's just my opinion. But it could be different. Like, maybe it's different for Ross Chastain, someone who was not even competing with these guys 2 years ago. Maybe his hunger for a championship, maybe he views it differently in his mind. But someone who's been chasing it for 15 years views it a little bit differently. It is what it is. But let's talk about Ross Chastain. He struggled all day. And he was like, Briscoe, once he got the penalty, he struggled. Byron struggled. They struggled pretty much all day. Video game move. I mean, it's genuinely, when you watch the clip, it's not sped up. He literally is kamikazing the wall. Like, it's genuinely insane. I don't know the telemetry on the car, like how fast he was going around the wall, but it's probably somewhere like the 110, 120 range. Like, that's how fast he's going around. He literally looks double, triple as fast as everyone else running the corner normally. That's how he makes the playoffs. And if he wins the championship, that's like, it's not even going to be whatever he does in Phoenix that is remembered. It's this. Like, if he wins the championship, which he very well could, this is the moment that will be replayed over and over and over and over. And Martinsville is going to use this in the promos, and so will NASCAR. It's absolutely fantastic. It's a fantastic, fantastic move. He did say something about, like, he was worried about hitting maybe like the gate or something. That's my only worry. Like, I don't want people to do this all the time, because that does scare me. Like, if you are riding the wall and your car gets caught on something, that is very scary. But like, I'm not going to, let's not focus on that. Like, it's genuinely the most clutch move I could think of, and no one could say anything about it. Like, even Denny Hamlin was like speechless. He was like, well, damn. Like, you can't say a thing about it. It's genuinely, the balls on Ross Chastain are the size of legit watermelons. That's like that's the best. You know what? I'm just gonna end it there. That's the quote. Quote me. The balls on Ross Chastain are the size of watermelons, and he has 2 of them. They are huge. That's it. Congratulations to him. The other 3 playoff drivers will be Joey Logano, who has been on vacation the last 2 weeks, watching Twitch and eating popcorn and spending time with his family and probably listening to Shakira in the car. Like, he's been on vacation. He will come back from vacation next week for the championship run. So Logano's been vibing on the beach, probably drinking a beer or 2. That's what he's been doing. Christopher Bell, who wins the race, fantastic. I mean, literally, like, it just doesn't surprise me. Like, Christopher Bell winning just does not surprise me. I thought he could win at Phoenix, or was it? No, I thought he could win at Homestead. Didn't show up as I thought. Then he comes up and wins Martinsville. He's just a fantastic driver. And I think this is, I've been saying it for weeks, and it does not surprise me. I really, that's the thing. Whoever wins this championship, I really feel like all of them have a very valid argument in terms of deserving it, So that was my one worry about Briscoe maybe winning, is like, Briscoe really doesn't deserve to win a championship. But all 4 of these guys, Chase Elliott's the final one. Chase Elliott, regular season champion. He has struggled, through the playoffs. I think he'll be the first one to tell you that. If this was a chase format, he would be nowhere near the championship, but he did his work in the regular season to give him the playoff points. So most people thought he was already like as close to a lock as possible to make the Final Four. He only made it by 4 points, which goes to show like he's not been very strong in the playoffs. So we'll see if they can come out with a car for Phoenix. But you have Trackhouse Racing in Chastain. You have Hendrick Motorsports in what's his name? And Chase Elliott. You have Joe Gibbs Racing / Ty Gibbs Racing in Christopher Bell. And you have Penske Racing with Joey Logano. So 4 different teams, all 3 manufacturers. I think that's what NASCAR would like. That's what I would like, and we will see what happens. I think it's going to be a very clean Phoenix race, honestly. I don't see really rivalries. Like, I don't think that's going to happen. So I don't see anyone wrecking anyone or something. Like, it's been a very clean playoffs. Not a lot of rivalries, not a lot of fights, not a lot of drama. So you're going to come into this race with a very clean race and clean board, and so the best man wins, and I think that's going to be a lot of fun. And that's that. Anything else I want to talk about? The guys who got eliminated: Blaney, Hamlin. We already talked about Hamlin a lot. Ryan Blaney. Listen, he hasn't won a race, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. Like, you got to win one race. Like, Christopher Bell wasn't gonna make it on points. Christopher Bell won. Ryan Blaney had the points. He had the points all season. He just had to win, and he was not able to win. He's not won a single race this season, so that's kind of self-explanatory. And Chase Briscoe, just was not good enough all season. So he had a chance with an amazing call, but the tires did catch up to him, and he wasn't able to hold on. Credit to Briscoe, really. Credit to him. I never thought he'd make it this far. He literally had a chance to make the playoffs with 10 laps to go if he won it. Like, that's pretty great job to him, seriously. So nothing to take away from him. And William Byron was just non-existent all day today. And I'm a little bit harder on him. Maybe it's because of my Hendrick Motorsports bias, but he is like the third best at Hendrick. Obviously you'd have to put Larson and Elliott in front of him, but I think with Byron, there's just this thing in racecraft that's just missing. He's very fast. He can win. He can qualify on pole anytime he wants, but there's just this, racecraft is hard. Like, to be able to put together consistent lap times, lap after lap for 400 laps, every race, every week at different styles of track. And I think this is what Byron needs to focus on. It's just that racecraft. Like, when you need that adjustment, and make sure you really feel that car and understand what you need to make it faster, as you can tell your crew chief and all that. I just, I feel like too many times in like the middle of a race or late in a race, William Byron will kind of fall off, and it won't be because of like bad luck or a bad pit stop. It'll just because he just loses spots. That's on him. I'm kind of tough on him. You guys know that, but I don't think I think the 4 guys that made it deserve to make it. I think the one that really, really hurts was Denny Hamlin. I think Denny Hamlin could have made it. But Logano's been strong all playoffs. He's been one of the strongest. Bell's been one of the strongest. Elliott's the regular season champion. And Chastain was also very strong in the regular season as well. And he's been, fairly decent, consistent in the playoffs. Not special. I mean, he did finish second. I take that back. He literally finished second at Homestead. He's been really good. So I think you had 5 drivers who were deserving to be in the Final 4. And one had to miss out. And one missed out in a really heartbreaking way. But there's no drama, right? There's no drama. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'm going to end it there. I'm going to see how early I can get this up. It'll probably be up around 8, 9, something like that, because I got to take Sky on a walk. So that might delay it a little bit. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. What did you think of the move? What was your initial reaction to that Chastain move? I don't remember exactly if I was watching it on the screen, if they showed it. I think they were showing Bell. I think they cut away from the triple monitor. I just remember seeing a red car next to Hamlin. That's all I remember. I remember Rick Allen constantly saying, Christopher Bell! Christopher Bell! Christopher Bell! Christopher Bell! That's really what I kept remembering. Rick Allen just constantly saying Christopher Bell over and over and over. I don't know why I remember that. But then I remember a red car flying around on the exit of 4 next to Hamlin. And I was like, huh? Because he was like intent. There was no one in front of him to pass. I was just like, huh? So, yeah. Just what did you think? Like, that's... Can we, like... Who has the... I want to know... I haven't seen on Twitter. I want to see some... I hope someone caught an amazing photo of that. I really hope someone got an amazing photo of it. But, yeah. Just insane. I'm going to end it there. Take care of yourselves. I'm going to make another video tomorrow. It's going to be another actually talking about real life NASCAR. I mentioned his name in this video. I mentioned it only once, but that's what the video is going to be about. So you guys can guess what that is. It's pretty easy to guess. I only mentioned his name once, so you should know who it is. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy the rest of your day. I will see you guys tomorrow. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram if you're not already. Subscribe if you're new. Congratulations to the Championship 4 drivers. Congratulations to Bell. Congratulations to Chastain for his watermelon balls. And I will see you guys later. Peace out.